So, for all of this month, Bahir and I are going to be checking out quite a few Japanese movies on the Goggler Podcast because it's that time of year again. It's one of our favorite times of year because the JFF Online is back. So, the Japan Film Festival has an online component that they do every year, which means you can watch a whole bunch of movies online for free within the comfort of your own home. Now, what's great about JFF Online is, and we've seen quite a few online film festivals, unlike other online film festivals, these are pretty great movies. So they tend to curate some really fantastic Japanese movies from the last few years and sometimes even remastered versions of old movies and put it up for the world to see. They have subtitles from like 15, 16 different countries. This year, there are 24 movies to watch and two specially remastered TV shows that come later this month. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And one of the things we were super excited to check out was Jungle Emperor Leo, the 1966 anime based on Osamu Tezuka's landmark manga. If you saw it in Malaysia, it was probably called Kimba the White Lion at some point. And this thing has taken on many forms, as in the manga, it's been a TV series, it's been multiple TV shows that have been remade over the decades. But this 1966 version is the original film that was based on the original TV series of 52 or 58 episodes. So what happened was the TV series was really well received and they decided, let's make a movie. And they made this 1 hour, 14-minute movie that kind of captures the essence of everything that Jungle Emperor Leo is. It isn't the full story, but you get a gist of what it's all about. Jungle Emperor Leo was also the first ever anime in color, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we checked this out. It's 1 hour and 14 minutes. It looks absolutely gorgeous in 4K remaster. And let me tell you, it is some surreal, dark shit right there. In the best way possible. Like, I'd forgotten. Like, I'd seen this as a kid because the TV show was shown on Malaysian TV.
Oh, okay.
And I remember watching episodes of the TV show, but I had never seen this movie version. I'm assuming this is your first time.
This is my absolute first time. And I want to, right off the bat, say two things. One, calling it Kimba the White Lion confused the hell out of me because as I was watching this, I was like, who the fuck's Kimba?
Oh, okay. So, like a lot of these things, when they get made or translated for the American market, they change the name.
But why Kimba though? I guess more African sounding than Leola.
I guess that's it. So, like, there were a lot of names that were changed. So, Panja is his father. In the English dub, he's called Caesar.
Oh.
The professional hunter who we see, the Japanese version is just called Ham Egg. I love it. But the English dub is called Viper Snakey.
Viper Snakey.
A lot more on the nose.
Snaky.
Snakey.
Sure. Yeah.
Viper Snakey. And so Eliza, the mother's name, Leo's mother's name is kept in both dubs, in both Japanese versions and English versions. But Pancha becomes Caesar and Ham Egg becomes Viper Snakey.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't change the name Dave.
Yes, there is a monstrous elephant who is part of a group of destroyers who's just called Dave.
Dave.
I love it.
He's not a cool guy, but Dave.
So what was the second thing? So Kimba the White Lion was just like how Macross was changed to Robotech.
That was the other one that always confused me. But anyway, the second thing, and like I get the online memes. I'll be perfectly honest, this is nothing like The Lion King. There are, I wouldn't even call them elements because they're not story beats. Sure, they have similar characters. There's a baboon in there. There are hyenas, which are the villains of the piece.
But also, if you are setting a story in the African savannah,
which are those animals? So
correct.
I don't know. I just feel like it almost feels like they haven't seen the movie. There were bits where I thought, I wouldn't even call them bits. They really felt like the definition of an homage, right? It's set in Africa. Both characters are lion cubs. They're both leaders of a pride. Yes, there is a Pride Rock-esque version in the original Japanese one. There's a baboon father dies, but there's no villainous uncle. I think all arguments with regards to copyright infringement and or theft is a bit hard done by.
I think you're right. I think after rewatching Jungle Emperor Leo, it feels like those comparisons are very much a stretch. There are visual cues that may be similar. Like when Leo is swimming across the ocean to the jungle, his mom appears in stars, which
Yeah.
is similar to how Mufasa appears to Simba, maybe. But that is an age old trope of your ancestors appearing in the sky. It's almost Black Panther esque, even, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
And so I think there are visual cues that might be similar, and the fact that they both happen to be lions and lion cubs who have lost their fathers. But for the most part, the story beats are completely different. Like in
yes.
Jungle Emperor Leo, humanity is the big bad, and humanity comes and raids Africa. His father Pancha is a hero lion who wants to save, all of the animals. And so in this version, he sets a bunch of cattle free, and then the bad guys use recordings of his voice, as in the lion's voice, to lure his mate over and then trap him and kill him. And that kind of gives birth to the story of the all conquering son. And in this case, Leo is a peacemaker.
Mm.
He thinks that only if he can learn from both the animal kingdom and the human kingdom can there be peace in the world. It really is a utopian vision of the world. It's got nothing to do with the story that is told in The Lion King, which, if anything, is a complete ripoff / homage of Hamlet.
Yes.
So there are more similarities to William Shakespeare than there is to Jungle Emperor Leo.
Yeah. So I'd like to put that to bed. Having seen both versions, I'd like to put that to bed. I think it's lazy.
I think if you put both side by side, there is no way you can call them the same thing.
You cannot call them the same thing. Like even the Rafiki character, and in this one the baboon, I can't remember the baboon's name, but
Probably John or something.
they're different characters, right? They play different roles. Like in this one, the baboon is literally telling Leo to run, to hide. Don't be a hero like your father was and possibly die like he did. So it's a complete different reading of the situation here. So it's not the same. Anyway, I thought the story beats were very modern.
For something that came out in 66, yeah.
For something that came out in 66, like it opens with a musical number by some mice on a boat, which is, can I just say, fucking great. The way it's paced is very modern. I won't call it the sort of ADD style of animation we see nowadays, but it is very fast.
It's fast, but all of the sequences are given time to breathe. Like the mice sequence is a proper narrative sequence. Leo in the ocean, learning how to swim from the fish is an extended sequence.
Yeah.
And you actually develop these characters, however little screen time they may have, but you learn about these characters and the role they kind of play in Leo's story. So you're right. It moves at a pace and it's only 74 minutes, but there is a lot that happens within these 74 minutes.
I just love how the first half of the movie is really sort of leaning on the humans as the villains of this. It opens with one of the lines is now dawn has come to Africa, and there are images of factories spewing out smoke into the jungles. There's this whole thing about a white guy having brought these two hunters, ham and egg, down from London because they were the best to protect the livestock of this industrial town that's coming out. But then about 30 minutes into the movie, they completely forget the humans and it's fine. They never remake an appearance, which I love.
So I can't remember what happens in the TV series because the TV series has like 52 episodes or something like that. And this movie is cut from that series.
Oh.
So there are a whole bunch of minutes that are taken from about 17 episodes.
So wait, so they didn't write an entirely new film. They just re-edited the 52 episodes or 17, 18 episodes into a feature-length film.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
And they stretch it out and they change things about because I think in the TV series, if I remember correctly, we see it play out almost in chronological order. In this one, his father's death is told as a flashback
Yes.
when his mom is telling him the story of what happened to his father. But in the TV show, we see it play out as if it plays out.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. So it's actually cut in a very interesting way to give you this sampler, if you will,
Yeah.
of Jungle Emperor Leo. Meanwhile, if you watch the 52 episodes, you get this epic journey of this lion cub.
Oh, wow. That is really cool.
Yeah.
This movie really shifts around, right? And I think that's what happens when you take elements from 52 episodes, because at the beginning there's this whole thing with the humans, and then there's this extended bit on the boat which then Leo escapes from, and then he gets back to land. It's a quick montage of him running back to essentially his father's homeland, where he meets animals. Animals tell him to go and kill these other animals because that's what we do when we celebrate. Leo goes, no, let's just eat vegetables. Let's set up a cafe where all the animals can come together. And we've got a cockatoo or a parrot as a chef in the back who's not doing a good job because the cafe is so bouncing and he just can't keep up with the orders. And then, oh no, the three big bads come over. And then there's this whole thing with the three big bads. It just really keeps shifting gears, which I will say never gave me whiplash.
No, it keeps shifting gears, but at the same time, it feels like Leo's hero's journey was consistent throughout.
Yes, correct.
And I think that's why. I think his arc was consistent throughout, despite there being multiple plot threads going on at the same time.
I disagree. I don't think there were multiple plot threads. They dropped plot threads, right?
Yes.
Like the human thing, and I was like, oh, okay.
It's very episodic.
Yes, it's very episodic, right? Like once Leo leaves the boat, I no longer need to know about the humans. The boat sinks. It's fine. We no longer need to know about the humans. There was a problem when he first arrives with the other wild animals because he doesn't want to kill. So let's set up a cafe. Problem solved. Let's go look at the sunrise. And oh, look, it's a tornado. And what comes after said tornado? The three deaths. One of which is named Dave.
Dave the giant elephant. That is my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah, that's great.
Just this old lumbering beast that stomps on things, and he's called Dave. Yeah.
Look, there is a reason why this is a classic. Other than the way it looks, this doesn't feel like a relic of its time.
No, I don't think so.
I will also say, this is something I had to call you about immediately when I saw it. It's got one of the best
disclaimers.
Yeah, opening disclaimers when this movie starts off, talking about how this was done at a time when there were perceptions on people that were not so comfortable. And even then, I feel like there was one or two lines at the beginning where they referred to Africa as a less than developed continent in the world. And I don't know why you'd get insulted by that. It was set in 1966. It probably wasn't as developed, and that's fine. I don't know. I just thought that disclaimer at the beginning was beautiful because it essentially talks about what we talk about, right? When we stand up for a movie that a lot of other Malaysians sort of argue against, it's because we feel there's things to learn from these things. They're beginnings of conversations, and the conversation is more important than maybe feeling insulted.
Or even feeling the need to censor something or burying it.
On the concern that somebody might get insulted.
The more we bury it, the more we hide it, the more likely it is to happen again, right? Because people forget. And then they carry on doing it. And you're right. I think that disclaimer was fantastic. Also because they talk about how they put it out there to encourage conversation.
Yes.
And they put it out there not to bury culture and bury the past, but so that you can discuss it and move forward from it. It doesn't feel like one of those lawyerly crafted trigger warnings that we sometimes see in books and movies and TV shows.
It isn't a boilerplate to protect the production company from lawsuits of someone being insulted.
We highly recommend that you go check out Jungle Emperor Leo or Kimba the White Lion. And I don't think there's anywhere else where we can actually watch it for free in 4K and remastered. So if you want to see where a lot of modern anime and a lot of modern animation found its inspiration, and yes, a lot of it comes from Osamu Tezuka's work, but this version is probably some of the most accessible of his work. And I think you should definitely check it out. It is fun, it is silly, it is dark. It's got this fantastic message, and we're just so thankful that we can watch it on the JFF Online 2024, which is fantastic.
I want to say a quick thing about the JFF Online. I think they have made it, the Japan Foundation people have made it really makes it easy for you to watch. There's no problems with casting it to a TV or watching it on your laptop or watching it on your phone. And I really like that. Registration's easy, it's free. I'm always excited when this time of the year comes around.
Same. It's very easy for you to do. Just Google Japanese Film Festival Online 2024. It'll either take you to the Malaysia Japan Foundation page or the actual Japanese Film Festival online page. And all you have to do is select Malaysia. If you find yourself on that page, you register, which is literally a 30-second process. Your like name, email address, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And then you can watch anything that's on there. And the streaming is fast. The quality is good. Just a quick note, Bahir, on the main page, it says, and that was the disclaimer, it says the movie, I love how they own it.
Yeah.
This movie contains depictions of ethnic, racial, and cultural prejudices that were unfortunately common in Japan at the time of its production.
It's not even a common at the time. It's common in Japan at the time. They're completely just upfront. Look, this is how we as a culture were at the time. We're really sorry. It sucks, but we feel like it's important to note.
Move along, watch the film, enjoy it.
Discuss it. Talk about why you feel this is problematic.
Check it out. Jungle Emperor Leo. We highly recommend it. Let us know once you do. You know how to reach out. Goggler MY, all of our social media feeds. You can also email us on podcast@goggler.my or send us a WhatsApp on the Goggler hotline, 012-524-5208. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Goggler Podcast.